let's look at one of these big Venn examples. So we've got a survey that investigated high school backgrounds of 110 college freshmen, and the following information was gathered. And it looks like we're talking about 3 different subjects: physics, math, and biology. And there's some overlap, of course. So we've got some questions we're going to have to answer here. How many took biology but not physics or math? How many took physics, biology, or math? How many did not take any of those 3 subjects? Okay, let's start with a Venn diagram. We said there were 3 subjects, right? Physics and math and biology. So let's start with that. P is physics, B is biology, M is math. And I'm just going to draw 3 overlapping circles here. Now, back in that question, it did tell us that 25 of them took physics, 48 took math, and 45 took biology. So let's go ahead and write those numbers out here beside their circles. Now, I'm not necessarily going to put them inside the circles yet because this bottom area of M is not 48. The whole M circle is 48. So we're going to have to do some calculations and figure out what's the bottom part of M, what's this little part of M, what's this little part, what's that little part. Okay, so I'm going to fill in inside the circles as we get to them. But for now, let's just leave those numbers on the outside. Okay, we did say there was some overlap that happened, right? So let's go back and look at those. 10 took physics and math, physics and biology, biology and math. All right, so drag that stuff over here. So we said 6 took physics and biology. So where the circles overlap between physics and biology is this one right in here. It's actually 2 little pieces in there. Physics and biology connects both of that stuff right there. So we're going to put a 6 just right over that line because it is both of that. 10 took physics and math, so that's this section of those 2 circles. So I'm going to put that 10 right there on the line. We're not going to leave those there. We're going to have to do some more calculations, but I know that it's 10 between those 2 pieces. And the same type of thing for biology and math. This piece where the biology circle overlaps the math circle is happening right in there. Now, also on that prompt, it did tell us that 5 students took all 3 subjects. So I'm going to put my 5 in there. And that's all 3, right? Where the biology, the physics, and the math overlaps is 5. Now, remember we said that there were 10 students that took the physics and the math. Okay, so there were 10 between these 2 pieces. Well, if 5 of them are there, that means this other section is going to be 10 minus 5. Well, it's another 5. And remember there was a 6 up here, okay, and now it's going to be 6 minus 5. There was an 8 on this line, but we've got to subtract 5, so this section right here is going to be 8 minus 5. So we're just subtracting that middle 5 from all 3 of those numbers that we had earlier. Okay, so that leaves us with this, right? The middle 5, and I said that 6 minus 5 is a 1, the 10 minus 5 is a 5, and the 8 minus 5 gives us a 3. Okay, so subtract. Okay, and we're out of pieces in that prompt from that example they gave us. So now I want you to go back out to these outside numbers. Okay, looking at the biology in particular, just starting somewhere. We said overall there were 45 students that took biology. Some of them overlapped into these other classes, right? So this total, if we just look at the blue numbers here, 1 plus 5 plus 3 is 9. So of the 45 biology students, 9 of them took other things. So let's do the 45 minus 9, and we're going to fill in with a 36 for that block. We're going to do the same type of thing for the physics and the math. Okay, there were 25 in physics, but 5, 10, 11 of them were in other things. And then math is the same way. There were 48, but then 5, 10, 13 took something else. Okay, so we're going to do the 48 minus the 13. So that's going to give us numbers like this, right? Okay, so 14 students took physics only. All right, 36 students took biology only. There were 3 students, actually 3 plus 5, who took math and biology. but 5 of those also took physics. All right, so if we only look at the ones that took biology and math, it was 3, excluding the ones that took physics as well. So it just kind of makes it a little bit easier to pick it all apart. Now, remember we said in the survey that they surveyed 110 students, okay? If we add up all of these, it may or may not come up to 110, all right? So that's what they're looking at here is the total number of students. If we add up all these numbers, the 35 plus the 14 plus the 36 and the 3 and the 5, 5 and 1, that's only going to give you 99 students. So that means there were 11 students. If we do our 110 minus 99, there's 11 students who didn't take biology, physics, or math. They took art. So 11 students is on the outside of those rings of circles. So let's go back and look at the questions now. How many students took biology? That's our B circle, but didn't take physics or math. So if we carve out the physics and kind of, let me do some scribbling here. We don't want to include any of the physics numbers, and we don't want to include any of the math numbers. Well, that's just going to leave us with 36. All right, easy enough. How many took biology, physics, or mathematics? So the ones that took physics are all these students. The ones that took biology are all these students. The one that took mathematics were all these students. So it's all of those students that we added together earlier, right? The 14 plus the 35 plus the 36 and 3 and 5 and 5. That was our 99 number. And then how many did not take any of the 3 subjects? That's our little 11 number.